Hi guys, it's Dr. Belinda George, and I'm back for Tucked In Tuesdays. I have a friend in here, and she doesn't want to be on camera. I should say her name. Everybody knows her. Her name's Kate Griffin, but she won't get on camera, and she's over there laughing. But welcome to Tucked In Tuesdays. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Belinda.
So she's off camera, but I wanted you to know so y'all can say hello to Kate when you do log in. You can say hello to Kate. So this is the first book that I read when I started Tucked In Tuesdays. Michael Hall read A Crayon Story. And so this book I absolutely positively love. And so for a good reason, I'm reading this book today. When I finish reading it, you'll know why. So here it is. He was red. Now you can see he's a blue crayon with a red wrapper, but he wasn't very good at it. So red crayon, when he tried to color his fire engine, it was blue. His teacher thought he needed more practice. I'll draw a red strawberry, then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this, really. So she paired him with scarlet, that is a shade of red, because she thought that would help, but he couldn't really. So Scarlet was able to color her strawberries red, but these are blue. Red said like this, and Scarlet says, oh my, let's try again. So Scarlet told him to try again. His mother thought he needed to mix with other colors. Why don't you two go out and draw a nice round orange? His mom's name was Olive. A really big one, a really orange one, because red and yellow makes orange. So he figured if I mix the two, they can draw orange. But because he couldn't color in red, yellow, and blue turned green. But they made a big greenish one, and yellow said yuck, and red said oops. His grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough. Your class is making self portraits for parents' night. Wear this warm red scarf. Grandparents are silver and gray. It's cute, huh? Nice. It's so you. So they put a scarf, but it so wasn't. And so Goldie drew a yellow. My glare is here. Goldie drew a yellow. Sometimes I have to turn off the light. Let's see if this helps. It does help. So Goldie drew a yellow. Teal drew a color that matched him, purple. There's red, and even drew the scarf. There's orange and there's green. And mom, the grandparent says, oh, dear me. And this is crimson and violet looking at their child purple. Everyone seemed to have something to say. Sometimes I wonder if he's really red at all. That's what Amber said. Hazelnut said, don't be silly. It says red on his label. Cocoa Bean said, he came that way from the factory. Fuchsia said, frankly, I don't think he's very bright. And Grape said, well, I think he's lazy. Army Green said, right, he's got to press harder. Still Gray said, really apply himself. Sunshine said, give him time. He'll catch on. And Sea Green said, of course he will. So we have people that's supporting him, some that's really not supporting him. But he didn't catch on. So Green drew a green frog, black a black sheep, brown a brown cow, and red tried to draw an ant. He said ack because the ant was blue. Let's see if I can get that ant on there. My lighting is off. Yep, there it is. The ant's blue. So that didn't work. Hi, Sabrina. I'm going to sign you up. Send me an inbox and I'll put you on. You'll be my next guest next Tuesday. All the art supplies wanted to help. The masking tape thought he was broken inside. This will help hold you together. So put tape on it. The scissors thought his label was too tight. One snip should do it. Stay still now. I thought he wasn't sharp enough. So they tried to cut the wrapper. They tried to put tape. They tried to put tape on him. They cut him with the scissors. Hi, Saquana, how are you? Hello, Queen. But even with all our help and all his hard work, his hearts were blue. His cherries were blue. foxes were blue. The red toenails were blue. You know how sometimes you try your very best to do things and it's just not up to people's liking? That's what's happening in this book. We just couldn't get the hang of it. So he tried to draw red light. So green, yellow, and black are watching because they were used to draw the traffic light. And red has had enough. So he runs away. One day he met a new friend. Will you make a blue ocean for my boat? And his friend's name was Barry. And so he has a purple boat, a berry boat, but no water. But Barry knew that he was different. I can't. I'm red. Will you try? So he tells him to try. So he did. He said, thank you. It's perfect. You're welcome. It was easy. So he drew the water. It was blue. And he didn't stop there. He drew bluebells and bluebirds and blue jeans and blueberries and a blue whale. And he says, I'm blue. He finally accepted the fact that he was blue. He was, and they scratched out red. And I've read this book 1,000,001 times and never noticed that they scratched out red. He was blue and everyone was talking. Olive said, his mom, my son is brilliant. Amber said, who could have known he was blue? Hazelnut said, I always said he was blue. Cocoa Bean, it was obvious. Barry said, his blue ocean really, really lifted me. And Sea Green says, all of his work makes me happy. And Brown said, his blue strawberries are my favorite. Apple Green says, he's so intense. Yellow says, I'm going to make a green lizard with him, a really big one, because yellow and blue make green. Gray, the grandparent, says, I hear he's working on a huge new project. And Scarlet says, he's really reaching for the sky. Sabrina said, great and awesome book. It is, Sabrina, one of my favorites. And he really was. And all of the colors came to celebrate him doing the blue sky, still in his red wrapper. And that's it. He dedicated it to his wife named Deborah. So I was able to meet, well, not meet, but Michael has been on Tucked In Tuesday several times. And it was the first book that I ever read. And Michael told me that he wrote this book because he had dyslexia. And the things that his dad said were hurtful, just like the crayons were doing. They didn't understand. So they made judgment. So I am reading this book because it's June. And I'm going to make a very bold statement because everybody deserves to be loved and cared for. And it is Pride Month. And this book reminds me of those who can't be who they are. They have to sometimes mask it. And people tell you, I always knew, and it's not always supported like in this book. So those of you during Pride Month, those months that are not feeling loved or accepted, or those that are feeling loved or accepted, just know that this red crayon, this red wrapper with the blue crayon, he felt loved and accepted because others showed him kindness. So my challenge to you this month is to just show kindness, right? We're all different. We look different. Kate is over there. You don't see Kate, but Kate's different. Kate's not my color, but here she is sitting in my home. And I want you to take a lesson. So my biggest takeaway from this book here is the title of the book is Red. And I think it's an AR book. My biggest takeaway from this book is no matter if someone looks different, sounds different, acts different, they're still a human and we should always be kind. So if you could be more like the people in Red, and those of you that are struggling this month, just remember Red. He didn't give up. He or she didn't give up. They kept trying, right? And he kept going until he found somebody that understood. And they knew that he could only color in blue. So, as I say every Tuesday, have a great day on purpose. If nobody else tells you, Dr. George loves you. Happy Pride Month, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Good night.